And tonight, Novak News with myself, Billy Drury, James Lamplow. What are you talking about, James?
Billy, good evening. Young guns in real estate. How can they use social media? Why is social media becoming so prevalent at the moment in the industry? We're about to give you a little bit of the inside scoop. So stay tuned and let's see if I can get this going. All right, Billy Drury, James Lamplow, guys, good evening. Welcome to Novak News. Coming here from Novak HQ. Billy, we're going to talk a little bit about social media in real estate. Billy, you're an 18-year-old fresh into the industry. Social media is probably something you're quite familiar with, maybe more so than the vast majority of our listeners, myself included. Social media, is it easy for you to use? Do you understand it entirely? Like, what would you say to us as a young 18-year-old? Social media has probably been a part of you since, the
younger. Yeah, I have to say, James, I hate social media from a personal standpoint. I don't like expressing my life on social media. So coming into the industry, I had no idea how big of an effect it is, how widely it's used across the industry, and how big of a part of our the business day-to-day it plays.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a bit of a unique situation from probably most. For those of you who listen into Novak's, we're very, very heavily social media based, and it really came off an idea, and we'll talk a little bit about this as we go through, but Lisa was the pioneer of this, Lisa Novak, and she really just went with a gut feeling as there's a hole in the industry. How can I change it? What can I do to make a different impression and leave a long-lasting image? And Lisa has taken the world by storm, not just Australian real estate, but she's having success and she's being acclaimed worldwide. So huge shout out to Lisa for pioneering that. But also we can't take away from Mark. Mark and Lisa have just ran with it. And I think at first the industry, they didn't particularly take to it as something that was going to become so prevalent.
Yep.
But a couple of years later, Novak Properties, Lisa Novak, Mark Novak, some of the agents in the team here are starting to reap the rewards from advertising on social media, from selling on social media. So it's been quite a hit.
Yeah.
So I find it quite interesting. I'm the same as you, Billy. I'm 25. I don't particularly use social media for my own personal self anymore. Maybe a little bit when I was younger. Send a little picture when you're going on holiday, something like that. But it was pretty much just based at that. And then you come into Novak Properties and there's this big onus on, we want to make sure that every property we go to, we've got a live video, that we always report back feedback to our vendors. We send them videos, we do everything. Some sort of video and social media comes into play all the time. So
and I think what's crazy is we're not doing it for fun. There is science behind this, there's facts behind this. And one thing I'd like to bring up tonight, James, is media consumption from you guys behind the screen, ourselves. It's a fact. Since 2016 to 2021, media consumption is up 460% on your mobile phone.
Yeah.
So that's growing at a faster rate than any other platform to share, to look at news, things. Hence why people are putting the money behind this and the trends. It makes sense for businesses to do that. Yeah.
Well, I personally hate bringing COVID back into the conversation, but it seems like it always fits in today's world at the moment. There are parts where you talk about it, but over the last, 13, 14, 15 months, people have had different lifestyles. They've been doing different things with their time. They've been working from home. Maybe they haven't been working. There's been all sorts of big cultural changes. And all of a sudden, we've got all of this time to spend on our phones. So we know that realestate.com and Domain have told us that their statistics are off the charts for the amount of people using their site, using it from their phone, not from their web browser back at home. So just in general, people are using their phones, they're using social media a hell of a lot more.
But it's quick.
It's quick, it's fast.
News.
That's what people want at the end of the day. People are wanting punchy information, I think, now more than ever. Still, people enjoy their traditional media, but it doesn't have the same level of volume that it's being consumed as opposed to what we're having on our mobile phones.
Yeah.
So, guys, Billy is someone you got to look out for. He's someone that since he's joined Novax, and he's just said that he doesn't like using social media, but of all of the rentals teams on the Northern Beaches, there's very little social media that comes out. And Billy, this young man here, is coming out every single day with so much passion, so much drive, but so much confidence behind the camera that he can actually just ream it off all of this information like it's nothing. And he's making moves in the industry. So, Billy, what do you do at the moment, and how do you sort of implement social media into it?
So we've got, away from the company, you've got a personal brand underneath Novak.
Yeah.
Which offers, me the opportunity to create a bit of a name for myself.
Yep.
And promote the properties that I'm showing. So like James said, getting videos of inspections after every inspection on a Wednesday and a Saturday is not only great, shows people what we've got on the market at the moment, but it can help people. We've had such weird experiences over the last few months, people coming back from overseas, hotel quarantine, they can't leave this little room that they're stuck in a room for 2 weeks, but they still need to find a rental. Being able to get a video to them, whilst they're sitting on their couch.
I think it's huge. And
it's
again,
beautiful.
Unfortunately, to drop COVID back in, people haven't been able to go out. They haven't been able to travel. There was a time when people weren't able to come into the Northern Beaches. So using social media has been absolutely huge in being able to get that reach across to people. And it comes back down to the tribe, the people that you have in your inner circle, the people that are surrounding you. You've got a bigger reach than you think. And it's not necessarily about boosting your posts, putting $20, $50, $100 into paying for your own sponsorship of these posts. They organically will circulate, but this comes back down into the algorithm a little bit. So that's a bit more of the complex, boring side of it. But, Billy, for one, in just the space of a couple months, has grown a massive following, is doing really, really well, and it's drawing attention from punters everywhere, buyers, sellers, renters. And it's really unique because there's no one else that's doing it. So it's a credit to Billy. He's done really well.
Thanks, James. But it is nice that you can help people just by doing your job better. You're going to go to these inspections regardless. So why not, look to take these things further. Another thing you would have heard about across, the news at the moment, the big sea change, tree change, people moving the other side of the city. They can't commit half their weekend to go and look at these places.
Yeah.
So if you can get them a video, they're not going to waste their time.
Yeah.
They get to see things, live.
Little message from Lisa. Billy is a weapon coming from the pioneer of the industry. That's heavy props, Bill. So good work.
Thanks,
and
Lisa.
Look, what I think is happening is it's a whole different type of marketing. We talk about traditional and non-traditional marketing. We're very much in that non-traditional category, although we still have every single element of the traditional marketing that any normal real estate agent would do. It just appears a little bit differently on the surface.
Yeah.
So it's done incredibly well. We have a team here at Novak Properties where we've got 9 sales agents that are ripping up as much social media content as they can.
Yeah.
And I think everyone does it in their own little way. They're of their own little niche, but people will do that and it will organically float through their tribe. And it goes out, it catches like wildfire at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it's been a bit interesting. It's not the easiest thing to do. And I think you find that if you're looking out there, if you're someone that's working in the industry and you're trying to do something that's a little bit different, it certainly gains a lot of attention as well. So it's something that you should think about. If you are in the real estate industry at the moment and you're not utilizing social media, just have a look at any of the top agents at the moment. You've got Lisa Novak, you've got the Josh Teslins, you've got some of these people that are really, really putting a lot of emphasis into it, and it just expands their reach on an enormous range. So social media and real estate, they're sort of beginning to come hand in hand though.
Yeah.
What else aside from putting a post onto social media, what are we doing here that will actually sort of get that across? Where else can we post the property? What else might we do aside from here I am at what else can we say?
Well, you'll find, your personal videos are finding their way into the company on the stories. But being shared across your parents' accounts. If there's something interesting, your friend tags you in it. It starts to grow organically, like you said. But before you know it, you've got hundreds of people looking at your name and the thing that you're proudly showing.
Yeah. And I think that's a big thing as well, and it's a big onus that Mark and Lisa like to put onto the employees at the business, is that it's not just simply about branding for Novak. You're trying to build your own brand. You're trying to build your own name and reputation out in the field, and that's the only way you're really going to be able to do it. Otherwise, you're under one umbrella that it's a bit of a ceiling, but we like to say in real estate, there is no glass ceiling here at all, and it's a way that you can sort of get out there, have a bit of personal reach, and wherever you go, that's going to follow you. So the work that you do on social media, particularly Bill, it's highly regarded.
Yes, thank you.
Pleasure, mate. So a couple of messages here. How did you overcome the fear?
You've just got to get on with it.
It's a good question, and I think you do have to just get on with it. I think you just have to suck it up and you just have to do it. But it's one of those things that you don't run before you walk at the end of the day. You're not going to be perfect on your videos straight away. It takes a lot of practice. And there are still videos that you do where you think, I could have done that better, could have done something different.
You call the kitchen, the bathroom.
But what we're trying to do is give people bite-sized information. We're not trying to give every single piece of information out about the property, because if we gave them everything, there's nothing left for them to know unless they fell in love with it through that mobile phone screen, which it actually happens more often than you think. But overcoming the fear, Lise, is a good one. It's something I think you do on a daily basis. It gets easier, but it's one of those things that you just grow into, and it becomes part of your routine, part of your habit. If you can come into a good habit of doing this regularly,
a way we got told to get over it initially was go live. It works well to not have that backup option.
Yeah,
you get it right the first time.
Yeah, right. Okay, so rather than doing a normal video, where you can take 3 or 4 trials, you can do it again. You do it again. How much time are you going to waste in a day if
you don't have that time? 15 minutes between each open. You've got to go back to back. You've got to just get it right the first time. So not having that backup option works in your favor.
So it's about being snappy as well as being concise, getting the point across quickly.
Yeah,
I think you're really good at that, Bill. What does that say? I can't see because the camera.
Favorite thing to do on social that has an impact.
Favorite thing to do on social that has an impact. I think there's a lot of different things that you can do. It's not just about posting. This is a new property. This is a leased property. This is a sold property. You can implement a whole storyline along with it.
One of my favorite things is changing legislation.
Yeah.
We, as an industry, it does move quickly. You might not be able to read up on the facts every day. So when there's big changes, to be able to, our Novak News is a good one. Daily post of changing legislation, facts. Yeah.
Something that I think, and this is something that Michael Bergio and Mark Novak can take all the credit for. They're up to episode 450, but again, we're in the know of real estate. We have a relative idea of what's going on in this general area on the northern beaches. We're very clued up. But the general punter, they don't have that same information that we have at hand. So by being a sounding board that can provide education and information to people, that's huge. And we do get people that are coming to open homes, coming to inspections, and whether it's someone like myself who's done a little bit less than the Marks and the Michaels, you still get the occasional person saying, "Hey, I saw your video," and then you don't think it's gone anywhere. But there are people watching, and again, it comes back down to. They might not like, they might not comment, they might not say this or that, but people are watching. And that impression of if you can give someone some really beneficial information, some helpful information, so on the educational side of things, it goes a long way, and it really does affect and impact how people can, the representation that we make of ourselves, the business itself as well, but we can help them without us really knowing it. But we're just trying to pass on information.
And we're talking about big financial commitments here, like buying and leasing properties, selling properties. You don't make these decisions.
You don't make them lightly.
Frequently.
No.
So to be able to have that updated, fresh information coming to you daily, twice a week, it makes a big difference.
All right. So, Bill, to wrap up, 18-year-old in the industry, fresh out of school, could have done anything he wanted to have done. Billy had his eyes set. The goal was real estate. I think from day one, right, Bill?
Pretty much.
So from yourself, how long have you been in the industry now? 6 months?
Full time since December.
Since December. So it's coming up to 6 months. It's a bit of a roller coaster.
Yep.
Ups and downs, 99% good, hard days some days, but it's all worth it. What would you say to someone, a young gun, might be a 14-year-old, might be a 10-year-old, might be a 17-year-old who's just about to, go through their HSC? What would you say about how social media can actually play a part in your career development as well, as opposed to just social imagery?
It's huge. It opens your eyes up to so many different opportunities. People get to see you doing your job well.
Yeah.
It opens conversations, not just about real estate, but so many other jobs that you might have thought about.
Yeah.
But you didn't know how to get into. So the conversations, it starts with landlords in the business, with people you're meeting at open homes, and then to be able to send them information you're putting out there, keep in contact with them.
Yeah. It's a good way to keep in touch with people, isn't it? It's the digital door knock. At the end of the day, you might not know them, but they already know you. And that's something that Lisa talks about a lot, is there's people that might contact her, and by the time she walks in the door, they say, look, I already know who you are. You've already got the business. So you make such an impression on people. Yeah. You don't even know them. You haven't built that relationship with them, but they've already built it with you. Just because of consistency, you're doing the same thing. And, people take a liking to consistency, hard work. Yeah. What's the word I'm looking for, Bill? Not organic, natural, it's the normal, it's the real person. And I think, as you said a minute ago, Bill, it's not just branding the business you work for, but it brands yourself. So it sort of helps to line in with the long-term goals, as well as an agent or whatever industry you're in. You can use these social media platforms to build connections. Use LinkedIn. It's a great platform to get to know people and grow connections. So all of these have a really, really different sort of reach. And I think Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, they really are the way forward in a whole new ball game of marketing. It's completely different.
And previously, people were paying, like huge amounts to put your name into a newspaper, hoping you might get seen. Yeah. This time, people are clicking on your name, before you even ask them to.
Well, you're in their home.
You're there.
You're there. Without being there, you're there. So
take advantage of it.
Take advantage of it. So it's not about spending money. You can spend money. You can do that. You can tap into the targeting, and that's great depending on what you're doing. But sending out content, trying to be consistent, trying to get your point across,
and just helping people.
Just helping people. I know I'm talking about this now, and I'm thinking I can do all of these things so much better. But it's a work in progress. It takes time, and as long as you commit to it, you'll build on it, and it will do you pretty well, I think.
And it does wrap around.
Yeah. All right, Bill. Anything else you want to say for the people, for all the fans?
I think that's it. If you've thought about it, have a crack at it. It is hard to it's not for everyone, but it does work.
It does work.
It does work.
And you've had people that have contacted you through your socials before, asking for
messages. Like I said, people stuck at home, people not being able to get to open homes because there's awkward timing. Yeah. It saves their weekend, and they appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. So Mark and Lisa just put a couple comments in. People respect the authenticity of the raw content. It's huge, because you're not faking behind a facade. You're not faking behind a facade. You're not hiding behind a facade that's not really you. They know who you are. They've got to know you, which it's huge. You're building trust. You're trying to build rapport, and you're trying to get to know these people. Bill, what did Mark say there?
Lisa's put, people respect the authenticity, and Mark, people used to pay subscribers to get real estate know-how. Yeah. Now it's free on social. It's huge.
Yeah. That's a good point, actually, as well, because, again, as we sort of touched on before, it's not your typical information, run-of-the-mill information that people are, you're not seeing it on the news. You might see sales, you might see a little bit of this and that, but real in-depth, raw information, it only comes from, we call it the coal mines here. It comes from what we have down at HQ, the inside goss that we have on the streets. It's a really good point. So it's all free on social media. You don't have to pay for that anymore. If you were interested before, you can follow all of these platforms for free. So another good point.
Lisa put another one there. Sellers can dip their toes in to test the market for $0 marketing strategy. Yeah. It's been proven. on Lisa's, pages and across her strategy, it does work.
Mm-hmm.
And she has the testimonies to prove that.
Yeah.
Just ask.
Yeah. So Billy, 18-year-old, your dreams, you want to become a sales agent, don't you? That's where you want to get yourself up to.
Yeah.
Do you think social media is going to be something you continue to use?
Yeah, definitely. Like, adapt the page
Yeah.
as you go. Make it your journey. People can see where you've come from, where you're going.
Yeah. You do some really good things as well. You pop out reminders of open for inspections, all sorts of things. So it's just plastering information out. You don't want to do it too regularly to a point where it's annoying. But if you can make a good, solid information, then I think you're going to be helping people without even knowing it. Guys, if you want to see what Billy the Kid is doing on social media, follow him on Facebook and Instagram. Billy, he said James Lamplow. Billy Drury at Novak Properties. Same for me. Probably a little bit less boring than Billy's, but James Lamplow at Novak Properties. We want to help you guys, whether you're buying, selling, renting, leasing, commercial, residential. We've got something for you here at Novak Properties, and we've got experienced agents that can help you. So, Bill, I think that's about a wrap.
Thanks for joining us on your Monday evening.
Beautiful. All right.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Cheers.